Okay, who here hasn't been to space?
Why?
You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
Is the Green Lantern series here. So we talked a while back, I don't want to say a while back, maybe about a month or so ago, we talked about the Green Lantern series that had been, and I'll go ahead and put that on the screen for you guys too, the Green Lantern series that had kind of been reworked from the Hal and Alan series to become the John Stewart Green Lantern series. And we were all excited about it, but seems like here CBR is reporting that the Green Lantern series, it says, now this is now earlier, I will say this has been reworked. Before this has been reworked, so let me give you go ahead and give the background story here. CBR and a couple other outlets started posting that the Green Lantern series had been axed, it had been scrapped and canceled. Where James Gunn, of course, in typical fashion, James Gunn came out and tweeted the factual stuff to it and untweeted under it and said, this is fake. Nothing, he actually just said fake. He didn't say anything else, just fake. And when he said just fake, there were other people like CBR that were going back and retracting some of the things that they said. So this was not the title of this article at the beginning. And if you see here, it says update DC Studios, blah, 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 blah. The title of this article originally was the John Stewart Green Lantern series has been scrapped. But they have recently changed that to saying what it says now. So I will go ahead and jump into what you got, or what they're saying here. Then we'll kind of give you guys our thoughts and speculations on what is going on over there. But it says a new report suggests that the Green Lantern series originally announced for premiere on HBO Max streaming service has been scrapped. According to scooper Daniel RPK, the series was canceled for unknown reasons. However, the pundit also claimed DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn has plans for the film featuring Green Lantern. At the time of writing, no official announcements have been made concerning the fate of the project. Then it goes on to say that this follows previous reports suggesting both the showrunner Seth Graham Smith and star Jeremy Irving and Finn Wittrock, who were attached to play Alan Scott and Guy Gardner. It was Guy Gardner in Alan series, not a Hal. And I thought Hal was in it though, but I could have been wrong. Respectively, had left the show as the project was being revamped to center on John Stewart rather than multiple members of the Green Lantern Corps. It was also reported that the show's budget had been significantly cut when the show was announced. It was described as the biggest DC show ever made, with an estimated budget of approximately $120 million. Following the Warner Brothers Discovery merger, this budget was slashed through. The later figures are unknown. Then it says the new DCU, on top of the Warner Brothers Discovery merger, the recently rebranded DC Films to DC Studios has resulted in a number of major changes. These include scrap projects such as Man of Steel sequel, Wonder Woman 3, and the untitled Batman film starring Michael Keaton. At the time of writing this project, still set for release are Blue Beetle, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and the Penguin-centric spin-off of the Batman. While there have been vocal critics of the reported changes, it is not something that took James Gunn and CEO Peter Safran by surprise. Gunn previously stated, "One of the things Peter and I were aware of when we took this job as heads of DC Studios were certain minority of people online that could be then he said, uproarious? Whatever, and could be unkind, to say the least," he added. We were aware there would be a period of turbulence when we took this gig, and we knew we would sometimes have to make difficult and not so obvious choices, especially in the wake of the fractious nature of what came before us. But this means little to us in comparison to our jobs as artists and custodians in helping to create a wide and wonderful future for DC. And this is all coming from Daniel RPK over at Twitter. So, like I said, James Gunn did come out and tweet and say that it was fake. Now, and I've seen a lot of people saying too, we talked about this when the series first was changed and switched over to John Stewart. There are some people that were saying, "Oh, I'm a big Hal fan," or "I'm a big." I would say it depends on the era that you grew up in. I grew up in the John Stewart era. I grew up, that's where I first learned about. I knew about Hal, but that's where I first learned about John was in Justice League Unlimited, Justice League, and then from there, just my own research. But that's my Green Lantern. My Green Lantern is John Stewart, and I like the others, of course, but my Green Lantern is John Stewart. So when I heard that this was going to be a series, of course, like a lot of other people, I were like, really, it deserves to be a film. It deserves to be a film rather than a series. But I was happy with the series because I was like, hey, we're getting John Stewart, we're getting him in some type of fashion, and we do know just from what they just said that it was going to be one of DC's biggest TV shows with a budget of $120 million. And I said early on, with it being on HBO Max, I never had a problem with that anyway, because HBO Max, House of Dragon, look what they do when it comes to the shows that they are able to produce, the things that they're able to do. So I was like, yeah, I was okay with that. But, you know, hearing that it had been scrapped and things like that, it's either the project has been scrapped, or it's either the project's been scrapped indefinitely, or it's been scrapped to make way for it to be a film. Mm-hmm. Those are the two options here that I'm looking at. I don't know if it's actually been scrapped completely, or if it's just been scrapped to make way for it to become a film. Because again, James Gunn is completely vague every single time he gets on Twitter. He didn't say one way or another.
Right. I mean, so this is a gripe that I have that I will further dive into on our Star Wars topic. But the only thing that bothers me about these large name companies with these incredible IPs, right? Larger than life IPs, talking DC, we're talking Star Wars, is that it makes me nervous whenever there's so much, oh, we're doing this, never mind, cancel, we're doing it this way. It seems so unsure and switching things up last minute, and that never bodes well, right? You want long, you want to plan this out and actually make it good. And maybe, and this is what I'm saying, trepidatious, maybe this is a better option for them. Maybe this is a better avenue to go. But still, it's kind of like, I stop fucking around with these things.
Right.
You can make DC incredible, but we don't know what the fuck's going on. Why did I see a Shazam trailer in the movies last night? Like, is that, with this reboot and all this and that? It's just very, it makes me nervous. And also after, like you're saying, after the House of Dragons, Game of Thrones in general, looking at what The Last of Us is going to do on HBO Max, I would have loved it. Mm-hmm. And not to mention that, I thought HBO Max would be a perfect place to discuss Jon's story, because where Jon is different than Hal, if you've read their characters, Hal Jordan is very ha-ha, and he makes jokes, and he's quirky, and he's, goofy. A lot of his Green Lantern powers are more like by force and with strength, where Jon, being more reserved, he has to think more, and his the way he fights with his Green Lantern powers is so much more intelligent than Hal.
Right.
Hal, literally, a lot of it is, I'm going to bang my head against the wall with my abilities. I'm going to hit you with something bigger or harder or stronger, where Jon, he thinks a lot. Mm-hmm. He has a whole different, and it's almost like he can get more dark and emotional and get into topics that HBO could touch on, where Hal is your good old boy, haha, I'm a hero, right. and that's fine. They're both done well. I think it's a testament to Jon that so many people do love Hal, because he was very good, but just as many people love Jon, because they are entirely different characters. They somehow pulled that off perfectly. And, I don't know, I'm excited to see Jon's story either way. I personally would have liked a series.
Right.
Especially if, I don't know, there's just some times where if you're trying to tell a long, rich story of a character, a series can be the way to go. Especially with the funding that it had. But right now, I'm just like, DC, just don't fuck it up whatever you do.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm like, okay, if James Gunn, you believed it's better as a movie, show me. As long as we're still getting it, at least we get it in some form or fashion.
Right.
Gunn just needs to chill out with Twitter and letting things leak out and confuse everyone. I think if he just dropped the slate, here's what we're trying to do.
It's supposed to be doing that in January. January is when we're supposed to be hearing exactly a start of what it is they want to do.
Right. Well, also that's what's more important here, because I see they're doing a Jon Stewart Green Lantern film. I'm like, cool. I grew up on Justice League Unlimited too. I love his character, but I'm like, but what does that fit into? What are we doing? Like, what are we going to do with him? Because this film's obviously going to be a part of your connected universe, but what is that? How are you doing any of this? Because they mentioned doing a younger Superman. We don't know how young.
He's going to already know Lois. He's going to already be working at the Daily Planet.
Right, but it's a younger Superman, but is Hal not a thing? What's going on with the Green Lantern Corps? I need to know what you're doing here.
Yeah.
Is my whole deal.
Not sure. And when he says fake, is he saying that it's just no longer happening on HBO Max? Is he saying that is he saying it's fake? The reason of it being canceled is fake, like that, because people are saying that it's fake or it's being canceled because it's becoming a film now. Is he saying that that's fake, or is he just saying the overall article is fake and we're still doing the series without, because he didn't say, he just said fake. So
well, and I don't think he handles these things well. PR
that's why I said stay off Twitter.
Yeah, because
stay off Twitter.
If this was a person who'd given us the 3 phases of Marvel, and then someone's reporting something and it's like it's a Feige going fake, we're like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I trust him. We'll figure it out. Gunn is just now taking over. No one even has confidence in where DC stands right now. It's real shaky. And when this comes out and all you go is fake, it's like, no, you need to come out with more assurance. You need to let fans know what you're trying to do. Dude, I'd be riding the high. New phase of DC, I'd be fucking living in it. But instead, he's just kind of talking shit on Twitter to people and saying confusing stuff, and that doesn't bode well for me.
Yeah, yeah. And if this is canceled and the series is the series is being canceled to make way for a movie, as I said, I'm okay with that. But if it's just being canceled altogether, well, then it falls into the issues that I have with some of the things that already are kind of muddy with this reboot. So, but again, we have to wait and be patient. At least he did come out and say something, I guess. I mean, because he could have let it just which I would have done if I were in James Gunn's shoes. I would have just been like, oh, well, I've already said we're announcing things in January, so believe what you want to believe. In January, we'll set it all straight. But that's just my way of thinking. Right. So, but as always, question is for you guys. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking. Are you thinking that the Jon Stewart Green Lantern series has been canceled? Or are you thinking that it's been canceled to make way for it to be a movie, or it's been canceled altogether? Are you thinking that the entire article is fake and that it's still happening as a series? And then what do you make of what James Gunn's, the one word answer from James Gunn there, just saying fake? Let us know in the comments what you guys are making of all these reports coming out with the Green Lantern series and just the muddy situation that DC, and we say muddy, but it may not be muddy to them. It may just be clear as water over there for them. As for us that are on the outside, it looks muddy. But what are your thoughts there? Let us know down below in the comments.